seasons. So depending on where I'm at, it's a different reaction.
Do you realize that you've been guessed by the judges on The Masked Singer for many, many seasons, prior to, and now we have Nicole got it. So,
Well, I think when Sharon Osbourne came out with the clue that said Japan, and then I said that I played a show with her, and I think that kind of narrowed it down. But not too many 55-year-old guys are singing Goodbye Yellow Brick Road in full voice and Magic by Pilot, and I can still get my voice up into the high ranges, and there are not many guys my age that even know how to do that. That's reality.
I was totally blown away by your performance on Elton John night. So were the judges. I mean, I'm horrible at guessing this, so I had no idea. But I mean, have you started hearing from people, now that it's been announced? Like, I was shocked. I didn't realize you had that in your voice. That's just me.
Well, that's, heavy metal singing is, there's a lot of screaming and high pitched vocals. That's the style of metal. And when I did the musical Jekyll and Hyde, that's written in the keys that are more traditional Broadway. Like it was like, this is the moment, my final test. And that's where it's written, right? And I sang it like that, but all the producers and the piano player, they're all looking at me and they can tell that I can do it way better than the way it was written. And so when I auditioned for that, they all said, okay, that was good, Sebastian. And the piano player goes, why don't we try the song up here? And he raised the key of the song like 3 full keys. So it went from this is the moment to this is the moment, my final test, like way up there. And that's how I got the gig. They go, oh yeah, that's what we're doing. And they raised up all the songs.
Wow.
In the play for me to belt it out rock and roll style. So that was cool. Yeah.
You did perform the Skid Row debut album in its entirety on tour a few years ago. You invited your ex-band members, to try to reunite this group. They didn't exactly say yes. Like you said, we all grow. We're not the same people we were back when, or even a few years ago. Like, do you think we would ever, there's so many fans out there, do you think that we would ever see all the members of Skid Row together again?
Well, I do think so, because I really think that the main reason that hasn't happened is because of business. We haven't been in the same room since 1996. That's a fact. So I don't have anything against anybody from 1996. I don't even barely remember 1996. So, I mean, the fact that we're all still alive, I would say yes. I think if we can figure out the business side of it, then there's no reason why not to. I will tell you this. I have a brand new single called What Do I Got to Lose that's available now on all streaming platforms. And the video is out today on YouTube. And playing the drums in my new video is none other than Rob Afuso, the drummer from Skid Row. So
it's like a mini reunion.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say mini, because the band Skid Row right now has 3 or 2 at sometimes members. And so my solo band has 2. So, I mean,
same thing.
We're trying.
Well, maybe if you guys, just to your point, got in a room together, right? You really think if you just someone locked the door and said, you guys just talk before we work out the business, you think that would really be
well, this is behind the velvet rope. So I'm sure you've seen the Metallica documentary, Some Kind of Monster, where they have all the therapists and everybody, we have to stop at 4 p.m. I'm sure you've seen that, right? And
Yeah.
it's all about the band working with a therapist. Skid Row never worked with no therapist. We didn't have anybody at all trying to help us out or be a mediator. That never happened ever. So I don't understand when I read like a book on Aerosmith or a book on Motley Crue or a book on the Red Hot Chili Peppers. All these bands have therapists that work stuff out in between the band members. I don't understand why we never even tried anything like that. We can't even text each other. Like,
If only you guys had a therapist.
well, why does every other band get one, but we don't? So that kind of pisses me off a bit.
Did you learn anything about yourself as a performer, from The Masked Singer? Like, you performed on so many stages, like you said, around the world. Did you want to learn anything different about yourself as a performer from this experience?
Well, I think that there's an adage being a musician that practice makes perfect, and there's no shortcuts to practicing. I don't use tapes in my concerts. I don't have anything like that. I don't have a click track. My band just plays live because that's all I know. So when you say, did you learn anything? I just learned that to reinforce my technique of warming up like weeks before I sing, I have a whole scale set of vocal warm-ups that I do. And if I do it like 2-3 weeks before I have to sing, like, it works, knock on wood, but it works. So I learned yet again, take your warm-ups seriously and start weeks before you have to sing. And it's a muscle. So I know how to work the muscle. And I learned that there's no shortcuts because I wanted to sing that song Magic, and it is very high. Never believe it's not so. That part is pretty tricky. So I had to get all warmed up, and I just learned that there's no shortcuts. There never has been. It's always been the same. It's always been the same. I would say that my advice to any other contestant on The Masked Singer, I would say, rehearse in the costume, because there's a lot of rehearsals getting the choreography correct. And they give you the option. They say, do you want to rehearse with the costume on or without? Because it's a big deal getting in and out of that thing. But performing in the costume and singing in the costume is completely different than doing it without. So as the episodes went on, I said, I'm going to rehearse every single time in the whole thing. And they were like, okay. But that made it easier when the taping started.
Rehearse in the costume. That's such a
Yes.
great advice. And if you have trouble taking it off, just ask for help. It's okay.
Well, there's a whole team there helping anyways. But, and another thing, when I look at the Tiki costume, the face, is it just me, or does that kind of look like me a little bit? I don't know. I thought the face of the Tiki kind of looked like my shit-eating grin, like, let the haters hate, like, I'm gonna rock no matter what, like, get out of the way. Like,
I can see it. I can see it.
I don't know. Maybe it's me. I don't know.
Well, listen, I've thoroughly enjoyed watching you on this experience. Again, I was blown away on Elton John night in particular. And so, thank you for gracing us with your presence on this show. It's such a great show. And everyone will have to check out the new single. I'll share the link for everyone, and I'll share your socials.
Awesome, dude. Thank you for allowing me behind the velvet rope.
You can come back anytime you want, Sebastian.
Cool. I got a pass, huh?
A high pass. Thank you.